Welcome back, Summoners. Thought here with Thunder Gaming League, bringing you yet another beginner's guide. This week I'll be talking about Gragas, the Rabble Rouser. So let's get to it. Starting off with the recommended rune page, you'll see out to the right, I have plus 12 magic resist, plus 15 magic pen, and plus 11 mana regen per level. This will give you the resistance, damage, and sustain you need to stay in lane and pull off good harass. Moving on to the recommended masteries, I run 2208. This will give you great harassing power while giving you mana sustain and extra ward sight for potential ganks. The downside of this is a lack of defense abilities. If you are not comfortable with this build, I suggest running 1398. Your harass and poke damage will be reduced, but will still be decent, and replaced with the extra defensive power and health sustain, which works well with Gragas' passive. Always remember these pages are just a base to build upon your own page, and you should make it fit your playstyle. Now it's time to talk about Gragas as a character. Gragas is a very strong poker with pretty decent defensive stats and abilities. With an ultimate that can separate an entire team, Gragas can be a very good pick for your team, especially if you learn to utilize Explosive Cask. There is always a downside to this, and this is where we separate the good Gragas players from the bad. Utilizing Gragas' ultimate takes practice, and bad position Explosive Cask can turn the tide of the fight against your team or for your team. Now to go over Gragas' skills, starting with his passive, Happy Hour. On an ability use, Gragas restores 2% of his maximum health over 4 seconds. This will give you good health sustain in your lane, will synergize well with Drunken Rage, and as it has no mana cost, and the Vigor Mastery. Plus, the more health you have, the more effective the passive becomes. Now for Gragas' first ability, Barrel Roll. Gragas rolls his cask to target location, which can be reactivated to explode. Otherwise, the barrel will explode after 5 seconds. Barrel Roll deals 85, 135, 185, 235, and 285, plus 0.9 scaling in magic damage, and applying a 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40% attack speed debuff for 3 seconds to all who are hit. Barrel Roll will be your main poke and harass ability, especially with a 0.9 scaling, making it a huge damage potential. You should note that Barrel Roll does not grant vision. With a high damage ability such as this, it's crucial to land when making lane presence, so paying attention to the missile speed and the range will be beneficial in practicing. For Gragas' second ability, Drunken Rage. Gragas stops and channels for 1 second, restoring his mana by 30, 45, 60, 75, and 90 while channeling, and becomes empowered after finishing the channel, increasing his physical damage by 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, and reducing damage taken by 10, 12, 14, 16, 18% for 20 seconds. Drunken Rage will increase your lane sustainability immensely. Activating Drunken Rage before any fight will greatly increase your survivability, but note that defensive buff does not take effect unless you are fully channeled. Taking a point in this at level 4 or 2 will help with last hitting and absorbing counter harass. Now for Gragas' third ability, Body Slam. Gragas charges forward colliding with the first enemy hit, making 80, 120, 160, 200, and 240, plus 0.66 and plus 0.5 in magic damage to enemies in an area. Damage is split amongst the targets hit. Units hit are additionally slowed by 35% for 2.5 seconds. Not only is Body Slam a great utility ability with such a short cooldown, but it can do some decent damage. You can choose to level this at level 2 or 4. If leveled at 2, max it 2nd, and if leveled at 4, max it 3rd for utility. Lastly, Gragas' ultimate, Explosive Cask. Gragas hurls his cask to a target location. When the cask lands, it deals 205, 450, plus 1.0 magic damage to all units hit, knocking them back. Like I said before, Explosive Cask can give your team a huge advantage or become a total disaster, so before throwing it just to do damage, assess the situation first. Now for the recommended build. For the core build, I recommend Sorcerer Shoes, Rod of Ages, and Rabadon's Death Cap. Pretty straightforward build for damage and health for survivability, and will work well with Gragas' passive. For the rest of the items, you should build against the enemy team. Some items I recommend are Banshee's Veil, Riley's Crystal Scepter, Sonia's Hourglass, and Abyssal Scepter. All these items will give you either survivability, AP, or enemy debuffs, if not all 3. When you first start, I recommend buying boots and 3 health potions. This will give you extra mobility you need to get away from ganks or dodge skill shots or harass, while giving you the sustain with health potions. After this, finish your boots into Sorcerer Shoes and buy a ward or 2 just in case. After that, buy a Blasting Wand and then a Catalyst and finish off Rod of Ages. You can choose now whether to buy Rabadons or build survivability. thus build to the enemy team respectively. Now for making lane presence with Gragas. Gragas has superior poke with range and damage, so use this to your advantage when harassing. Remember, a landing barrel roll will determine whether you have lane presence or not, so be aware and memorize the barrel's speed and range. If your jungler is ganking when you are level 6, you can body slam and explosive cast your opponent into you for a secured kill. As for team fighting, trying to explosive cast and knock the enemy carry into your team as close as you can get them is basically your goal. Knock the carry into your team and the rest of the enemy team away. Now for some quick tips and a review. Remember that Gragas does not gain Drunken Rage's buff unless he has fully channeled the ability. Using Body Slam can be a useful way to get around the map since it goes over most walls. I said before and I'll say it again, Gragas' ultimate exploding cast can either make or break him, so remember the distance and the radius of the blast and assess the situation first before casting it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you want to check out Thunder Gaming League for your League of Legends news and more, that link will be down in the description below, as well as a physical reference to all skills, build, and ruins. If you learned anything from this video, give it a quick thumbs up, and if not, feedback is always appreciated, so make a quick comment down below. If you have friends who could benefit from this or any of my other guides, hit that share button and subscribe for future guides. Again, this is Course Dot. Have fun, and I'll see you guys next week with another tutorial.